Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything podcast, and in this episode I'm going to be reviewing the penultimate episode of Doctor Who Season 1, which is Doctor Who Season 1 Episode 7, titled The Legend of Ruby Sunday. But like usual, before I get to my review, it's time for the cast list. So we have the Doctor, played by Ncuti Gatwa. Still not entirely sure how to pronounce his name. Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson. Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, played by Gemma Redgrave. Melanie Bush, played by Bonnie Langford. Rose Noble, played by Yasmin Finney. Colonel Ibrahim, played by Alexander Devrient. Maurice Gibbons, played by Lenny Rush. Harriet, played by Genesis Linia. Susan Triad, played by Susan Twist. Bailey Sinclair, played by Phila Luffadew. Carla Sunday, played by Michelle Greenidge. Mrs. Flood, played by Anita Dobson. Cherry Sunday, played by Angela Winter. Colonel Chidozie, played by Tasha Newell. Corporal Sullivan, played by Jasmine Bays. The Vlinks, played by Aidan Cook, and the voice of the Vlinks being Nicholas Briggs, who voices lots of all the monsters, most commonly the Daleks. As Cybermen, pretty much any monster that has a voice. The writer of The Legend of Ruby Sunday was Russ T. Davies, and the director was Jamie Donahue. The synopsis is that the Doctor and Unit investigate Ruby's past, but as the time window reveals horrifying secrets from Christmas Eve, the mysterious Triad technology unleash the greatest evil of all. The Legend of Ruby Sunday was released on the 15th of June 2024 at 12 AM GMT. I'm only going to put the time zone if I know it. So yes, my opinion on The Legend of Ruby Sunday is I loved Rose's return. I liked how connected this episode was to the Church of Ruby Road and Season 1. And actually with Rose's return, kind of 60th slightly, but not really. And I enjoyed the inclusions of Kate, Mel and Maurice. Without further ado, here's my review of Doctor Who Season 1 Episode 7, titled The Legend of Ruby Sunday. The TARDIS lands at Unit Tower. Kate issues an order to Unit employees. The Doctor reunites with Rose. The Doctor asks Rose about Donna and the 14th Doctor. The Doctor introduces Ruby and Rose to each other. The Doctor reunites with Kate. The Doctor introduces Kate to Ruby. The Doctor also introduces Ruby to the Vlinks. The Doctor reunites with Colonel Ibrahim. The Doctor meets Harriet and Maurice. The Doctor introduces Ruby to Maurice. The Doctor informs Unit of all the characters played by Susan Twist featured in Season 1. There's actually a few that we haven't seen before. Maurice tells the Doctor about the latest of these characters, known as Susan Triad. Kate reveals all the information Unit currently has about Susan Triad. The Doctor works out that S-Triad is an anagram of TARDIS. Unit already knew this. Ruby reminds the Doctor of his granddaughter Susan. Unit never knew that the Doctor has a granddaughter. We then have the title sequence. Kate recounts the history of Triad technology to Ruby and the Doctor. The Doctor explains regeneration to Ruby. Susan is rehearsing his speech. Mal is working for Susan Triad. Mal gives Susan a coffee. The Doctor tells Unit about Ruby being a foundling and not knowing who her birth mother is. Rose and Kate mention their love for Davina McCall. The Doctor explains to Rose why he can't travel in the TARDIS to find out who Ruby's birth mother is. The Doctor mentions the snow seen in multiple episodes of Season 1. Unit aim to help Ruby discover the identity of her birth mother. Rose assists Ruby in finding the CCTV footage of the night she was abandoned. Susan tells Mel about her nerves. Susan references her child and her parents' jobs. Mel rides a motorbike. Ruby finds the CCTV footage. Rose mentions Donna working for Unit to Carla. Carla gets short of this and persists of joining Ruby and Rose at Unit Tower. Carla asks Mrs. Flood to look after Cherry. Mrs. Flood compliments Rose and Ruby. Cherry asks Mrs. Flood for a cup of tea. Mrs. Flood issues a warning to Cherry. Kate and the Doctor discuss the Doctor's granddaughter. The Doctor confesses that he hasn't reunited with his granddaughter due to the way he lives his life and the possibility of putting his granddaughter in danger. Kate reassures the Doctor. Mel returns to Unit Tower. The Doctor reunites with Mel. Kate reveals her feelings about Carla attempting to enter Unit Tower. The Doctor ignores Kate's wishes and allows Carla to join them. The Doctor learns that against his previous wishes, Unit have access to a time window. The Doctor laughs at Unit's time window. Kate introduces Winston to the Doctor. Winston being Colonel Chidozi. I should have mentioned that. Ruby introduces herself to Winston. Dr. Mel and Ruby discuss Ruby being abandoned on Christmas Eve 2004. Ruby reunites with Carla. Ruby asks Mel to take care of Carla. The Doctor and Ruby experience Christmas Eve 2004 through Unit's time window. Mel tells Carla even how the Doctor helped her. It snows inside Unit Tower before the time window has been activated. The Doctor reminds Ruby multiple times the events that happened on Christmas Eve 2004, and neither her or the Doctor can interfere with those events. The Doctor also reminds Ruby of some of the events that took place in the church on Ruby Road, which was the 2023 Christmas special, which was after the 60th anniversary specials, but before season 1. Wrong sentence there. Carla believes that Ruby's birth mother was crying after abandoning Ruby. The Doctor overrules Kate's orders. The Doctor comforts Ruby after Ruby's birth mother walks away. Morris spots another worldly entity. Kate stops Colonel Ibrahim from entering the time window. The Doctor doesn't know the answers to questions asked by Kate and Ruby. Winston communicates to the otherworldly entity. The time window explodes. Kate finds Winston. The Doctor apologises to Kate. Kate issues an order to some other unit employees. The Doctor asks Mel to introduce him to Susan. The Doctor attacks a wall. Mel reminds the Doctor what he does. The Doctor introduces himself to Susan. The Doctor asks Susan questions about her dreams. The Doctor references the events of Season 1 Episode 5, Dot and Bubble, Season 1 Episode 1, Space Babies, and Season 1 Episode 3, Boom. The Doctor learns of a second TARDIS located at Ruby Road on Christmas Eve 2004. The Doctor asks Kate to evacuate Unit Tower. Ruby says goodbye to Carla. The Vlink scans the TARDIS. Susan delivers her speech. Kate reminds Ruby to follow the Doctor's orders. During her speech, Susan references her conversation with the Doctor. Harriet becomes possessed and issues a warning. Harriet is unveiled as a Harbinger, similar to the Harbinger seen in The Devil's Chord with the boy, the piano lesson before Maestro appears. More on Maestro in a minute. Kate convinces Colonel Ibrahim to step away from Harriet. Harriet mentions the Toymaker, the Trickster, Maestro, Rebate, and the Myra. So the Toymaker we saw in the 60th anniversary specials and all the way back in 1966. Maestro, as I just said, we saw in Season 1 Episode 2, The Devil's Chord. The Trickster is a Sarah Jane Adventures villain, which I will be reviewing at some point, hopefully at this year. Yeah, I think it is this year. This year, hopefully later on in the year, or at some point anyway. And then I don't know about Rebate and the Mara. Sutekh reveals itself to the Doctor. Sutekh is known as the God of Death. Now, Sutekh was in a 4th Doctor story featuring Tom Baker. But yes, I don't know much about Sutekh. So if you know anything about Sutekh, put those in the comments below to try and help. But yes, next time on the Everything podcast, back to class in a slightly different format. So I mentioned in yesterday's episode, when I was reviewing class episode 8, the season finale of TV Class, I used those words specifically, and that's because there's been 13 audio adventures, so more episodes than of the series, of audio adventures featuring Charlie, April, Tanya, Ram, Mateusz, and Miss Quill, and I'm going to be reviewing the first one of them tomorrow, which is called Gifted. And here is the trailer for the Big Finish, or the Big Finish era of Class. So yes, that's what's coming up in tomorrow's episode on the podcast. But back to today's episode, let me know what you thought of The Legend of Ruby Sunday, Doctor Who Season 1 Episode 7, and the next Doctor Who review will be of Doctor Who, the Doctor Who Season 1 finale, Season 1 Episode 8, titled Empire of Death. And there will be a preview, but obviously, as I mentioned earlier, it's been recorded a couple of weeks ago at this point, because I recorded, I think it was all the way from Dot and Bubble to Empire of Death all in one day, so it was all the information I had then. So yes, that's coming up on Friday at 7 AM GMT, I think it is, so go check that out, as well as all the previews and reviews for the previous episodes as well on the channel as well. It will actually be in the playlist at some point in this episode, I would imagine. Anyway, but sorry about that. But yes, so let me know what you thought about The Legend of Ruby Sunday in the comments below. If you watched it, my review, if you didn't, put both of your thoughts on those in the comments below, as well as anything else you want me to cover on the channel. It could be a TV show, a movie station, we've had loads, which I am working through, but if you want to send some more in, I can certainly add them to the list. So yes, put those in the comments below, as well with anything else, so like TV show, movies, suggestions. It could also be a book, a comic, an article, or some news about your favourite TV show or movie you would like me to cover. Put those in the comments below as well, and remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe. And that's it for this episode of the Everything Podcast. Goodbye.